Fantastic talks. I'm really interested now. So the question I have for you first is what characteristics that you put into the faces that you create that are related to human characteristics that fool us into thinking that the face is actually human?
Well, we're not doing anything different to what Hollywood's been doing for years. We've had these incredible CGI characters. My co-founder, Dr. Mark Sager, won Oscars for his animation work on movies like Avatar. Now, we as humans fell in love with those giant blue creatures, even though they weren't really very human-like, but they had this ability to express human emotion. So we were able to emotionally connect and emotionally engage with them. So, look, I mean, our digital people aren't, they're hyper-realistic, but they're not perfect. But the fact that, what we are proving with our client work, that real people can emotionally engage with them. Real people feel like they're getting a personal connection through their ability to synthesize and express emotion. So, as you'll find when you go and talk to Sam or Roman, if you smile at her, they'll smile back. If you get upset, they'll become empathetic. So
they're actually monitoring you as well.
Of course, yeah, of course.
I see.
Yeah, just in the same way that you and I are having this face-to-face interaction here.
So are you learning human emotion? Are you taking people in and taking their facial expressions and implementing them, or just people thinking this is how it's supposed to be?
No, this is actually being driven by the digital brain. So in very, very simple terms, and I'm not a neuroscientist like some of our research guys, so I don't really understand this, but one of the models that we built is there are actually 3 control systems in a human brain. So we have our brain stem, which teaches us how to, or make sure we breathe. It keeps our heart rate. Now, obviously, the way we breathe and our heart rate affect the way in which we express emotion. Then we have our limbic system. Our limbic system is our emotional engagement system. So if I smile at you,
I smile back.
Yeah. Now, that's not your face smiling back. That's your brain causing your face to smile back. So we've created exactly the same subsystem. So the concepts of virtual dopamine and virtual serotonin and the digital brain means that the digital person knows how to respond when they see a smile. In the same way, we have this innate response to it. So, this is an incredible amount of very, very deep research that's been done over not just the 3 years that we've existed as a company, but the 5 years before in a university lab. So, Mark's initial work was to create a fully autonomous digital baby, Baby X, and she is fully autonomous. So you wake Baby X up, she can cry, or she can throw a tantrum, or she can wake up happy and smiling. And there's lots of great videos of Mark's research online, which you can go Google and find as well.
Okay. Kevin, I'm interested in Sherlock. One of the problems that AI people face is the uncleanliness of the data. So I noticed that you actually clean the data automatically, which didn't make any sense to me, because cleaning the data requires understanding what to fill the information with. And you can't actually train an artificial neural network without the data being complete. So how do you do it? And how accurate is it?
Well, I completely agree that data cleaning is a huge problem. And in fact, data science and artificial intelligence research is 80% getting the right data into the right shape at the right time. We don't do the data cleaning in Sherlock, but one of the ways that we've implemented it into a data cleaning system is to, once you have the correct type, that you have examples of correct instances of that type scraped online, right? So for example, if we have a data set of names, right? We have a large database of names underlying that, so we can infer, or at least detect, what are some low confidence names.
Yeah. Done?
Yeah, done.
Okay. So for the initial part of the talk, where the data is shown visually to businesses, for example, how much control does a person have over the data since it's being automated?
In this case, they have a lot of control about which fields or which concepts are being visualized, but they don't have much control about how the data is transformed at the very beginning. But in the long run, we see ourselves piecing together a lot of these data science components together so they have control down the line.
Okay. Greg, so how do people feel about interacting with these humanized
Yeah, I guess everybody will feel differently about it. So I once again encourage you to go and have your first experience yourselves. What we are seeing with the work we've done with clients to date is over 80% of the people that interact with one of our digital teammates, working for one of our clients, actually are quite comfortable that that becomes their primary interface with the client. Over 90% of the people that talk to one of our digital people get the answer that they want. Our clients are also seeing that their customer satisfaction ratings are jumping by over 25%, between 25 and 30%, which are huge customer satisfaction gains. Because if you stop and think about it for a second, most big organizations, most big companies, really don't have that ability to create that personal connection today. So this is a very, very new phenomena in terms of the way in which they can do it at scale.
So when I'm in my car and I turn on GPS, I usually turn the voice down because it's annoying. How do you avoid having the characters being annoying to the driver? Or distracting?
I think in most countries, video streaming, right at the moment where we're actually still in control of the cars ourselves, gets blocked. So so this is, when people want to speak to a digital human, they actually have to opt in. The ethics and the privacy things, you have to say, yes, I do want to turn on my video camera and turn on my microphone. So, you are actually making a proactive decision that you want to talk to a digital person rather than just having one appear in front of you and start chatting to you.
Right. Okay, so Kevin, so how much automation is acceptable? Are we going to be fully automated where there is no decision on my part, on the business part? Or is it going to be an interaction between the expert of the data and the data itself and your program or software for this?
As you implied, I think it's the latter, where in any domain where there's domain expertise, there is going to be room for interaction between a human and the model. And furthermore, a virtuous cycle between the two. So that in the example of visualization, as a model continues creating visualizations and as a user kind of annotates them or views them, that the model can continue getting better. Ultimately, talking about data analysis generally, it's a combination of a creative and an extremely boring task. And what we're trying to do is automate the more boring parts to liberate us to think more creatively about what kinds of questions we're actually trying to answer with data, instead of spending our time kind of working in the mud of it.
So what if I'm not an expert? Can I look at this and say, and understand which one of the data visualizations is good for me, for the company?
My hypothesis is that humans are very good at reasoning with data when it is contextualized, right? When they know which real-world concepts it corresponds to instead of how it's represented or how it's encoded. So the answer to that would be yes, with a lot of caveats that humans tend to make a lot of mistakes when it comes to inferring conclusions from data.
Okay, Greg, last question. Are we going to see this in games, video games?
Yeah, we already build these digital characters in full 3D, so it's going to go beyond video games. It's going to come to augmented reality and virtual reality. So as a digital platform becomes more widespread, we'll be able to have interactions with full people, full-bodied people, people that we can walk around digital worlds with and interact with as we go. We're going to see the world of entertainment shift from, currently movies are very, very linear stories. Imagine a movie in the future where, you get to stand in the scene alongside your favorite characters and start interacting with them and changing the storyline. So, these are the, things that we imagine for the future of this technology.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you.